Tampa.com.
For today, partly sunny, high 93. Tonight, mainly clear and humid with a low of 77. For tomorrow, mostly sunny and warm with a high of 93. Tomorrow night, mainly clear, warm and humid, low 79. On Tuesday, partly sunny and humid, high 92. Get your weather news when and how you want it wherever you are. Download our free app or visit AccuWeather.com. That's your AccuWeather forecast. I'm Caitlin Lawrence for AM 860, The Answer.
A letter came to me, a royal command to say, you've been given the music, a tone, a song to sing. Not having an offering is more of a precious gift. Not meant for a prince, but only for the king.
Welcome back, folks. This is Greg Ellie of the Prosperity Group, and I'm here with Patty James. Patty has been working with me now. Patty, you've been with me 3 years or 4 years now?
It was 3 years in late January.
Wow. I am so thankful that you are with our company, Patty. You bring so much to the table.
I love it. So thank you for having me.
Well, and folks, Patty's amazing. And I just want to let you know, I'm doing a lot of traveling for media and different things like this. And we've got some surprises that we're going to be sharing with you soon that I'm excited about, that we'll be sharing. We've got some meetings lined up in August and September, which I'll make sure we talk about, because it's really crucial to take advantage of some of these things that we're talking about, folks. It really is. And I want to remind our listeners that my book, The Prosperity Plan, or Prosperity Plan ABCs, you can order it. We should have it ready to go within the next week or so. So, please feel free to take advantage of ordering this book. I think
a great way to kick off the summer.
That's right. When you're at the beach, you can be reading the book at the beach. Here we go. So, folks on Facebook, I'm sharing the book here so you can see it. And that's called the Prosperity Plan. It's called Prosperity Plan ABCs. Annuities build control safely within your retirement nest egg. And if you would like a copy of the book, let us know, folks. Let us know. And you can read some of it. It shows the turtle in the hare. And, the turtle wins the race because slow and steady finishes. Up and down, that's just taking all these bumps doesn't do as well. I've shown you that with the financial resets and things of that nature. But if you'd like to get a copy of the book, let me know. We will do that. Patty, what we're talking about 401ks right now. I think that one of the things that's really surprised me is how many people that have not taken advantage of their in-service rollover.
Absolutely.
There's been a trend, and it's because of the market. And, I had a lady that asked me the other day, and she ended up becoming a customer. And these people are from Russia, a great couple. They have a thriving real estate business. And one of the questions that she said her financial advisor never returned her call. And she told her financial advisor she wanted to get some gold and silver. And her financial advisor just ordered stocks and, got some gold stocks without explaining to her about that. What are your thoughts on that right now? Because I'm telling you, it's uncanny to me to see how people we're being lulled into a sleepiness that I think when this thing goes south, it's not going to be good.
Right. I think the most important thing is to listen to the clients and prospective clients and what it is they're really wanting and what it is they really need, and for us to guide them that way, and to haphazardly just put them into something because that's what we have and that's what we can do is just so wrong. And that's what I'm so thankful that we do not do. We do advise clients on the precious metals. We do not do them ourselves, and we do not get paid for it, but we do advise on that. And I think that's wonderful. And I just want to stress to people, take note of that. it's important for your advisor to listen.
Yeah, I agree with you. In fact, I need to have a talk with our precious metals company. I want to, I want to incorporate that a little bit more aggressively for people, because what's happening, a lot of people are paying way too much for precious metals. And what they're doing is they're buying all of the markups. Gold is at an all-time high right now. So the
Wow.
gold that you and I both bought, it has increased. What's 1,700 divided by 2,400? Do you have a calculator nearby?
I actually, and it's not yours, believe it or not.
So it's not mine.
Something
That's,
divided by
that's surprising.
24.
Huh?
You-
Yeah, 1,700 divided by 2,400.
2,400. Okay. It is 0.708333. So
0.70. So that means that gold is increased, wow, significantly. That's 7,000. So yeah, 78%, or is that 22%?
71%, right? At
71%. 71%. And here's my theory, Patty. If things happen in the economy the way I think that might, I think we might see gold hit 3,000 to 5,000 an ounce.
Mm.
So I
Um,
think that's crucial.
One of the gentlemen that you admire so much, Robert Kiyosaki, is also advising people to make the precious metals, gold and silver, part of their portfolio.
Yeah, I think it's crucial. I talked to a client about it, and they said, "Well, where are we going to put it?" She says, "In the bank." I says, "No, you don't put it in the bank. There's an executive order." Realize that FDR confiscated the gold during World War II,
You're right.
and that could happen again. And George H.W. Bush put an executive order that the federal government can make you open the safety deposit box for national security. So how safe are those safety deposit boxes if you've got money, which you're not supposed to have in there, or gold? Patty, when you were working in the banking industry, were you always told for people not to put money in safety deposits? Because I know always did.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it is, even in the papers you sign, it tells you do not to put money in there
And what's the reason for that, do you think?
for the reason you just said.
Okay, so that's why. So the banks are just acknowledging that. That's interesting to me, because
Yeah.
when my son was working in the banking industry, Greg, and he called me up one day, and this was in 2008. He says a lady came inside and says, "Hey, I need you to help me carry this out." She had $200,000 in cash in her safety deposit box.
Oh, yeah.
Now, he wasn't allowed to look, but he says, "I'm not allowed to carry it out with you."
Mhm.
And so he said, "We'll watch you walk it into the car, but that's all we can do." So he had to watch her. And what it was, people were just freaking out with 2008. Now, here's what's interesting about this period of time, Patty. What happens if the dollar drops down dramatically? Oh, by the way, I heard an article yesterday. The president of Argentina, I was just down in Patagonia.
Mhm.
He's compared to Donald Trump, and the economy of Argentina is starting to become robust. So he's taken it from a leftist regime that was there before that caused all this hyperinflation. And now reason is coming back to Argentina. So Argentina now says, "Don't cry for me, Argentina," right? It's
Exactly.
don't cry for me. So
I pray, dear Lord, that that is on the forefront for our country.
I hope so too. I hope so too, because this wackiness is it's ridiculous. There was a university, and I don't mean to get off on the subject, but there was a university where this man that claimed to be a woman would regularly go into the women's locker room to take showers at the time that the girls were taking a showers. Um and I have a cure for all of it, right? If don't if you're a male, don't race with the female, just do your own thing. And if you're the only person in the race, then you get to win. And if there's other people that believe or feel like you do, then you guys create your own division. That's what makes sense. not this other mentality, but see, this is what's happening across the board with everything we're doing. And that's the danger that I see right now, Patty. And that's very concerning to me, you know?
And there are so many. I mean, but we were told this in the Bible, this would happen. I mean, up would be down and down would be up and right would be wrong and wrong would be right. And but this is not our home. And I go right back to that. But while we are here, I'm gonna bring it around. Um, and you are looking at retirement. There's something you say at our seminars that really puts it all into perspective too. And that is, are you ready to be employed the rest of your life?
Are you ready
to be unemployed?
unemployed?
Are you ready
That's
to
right.
be unemployed the rest of your life?
Yeah. That really should be the question people should ask themselves, because that's what's happening when when you retire. You're unemployed.
That is exactly. That is it
Now,
exactly.
it's unemployed, retirement, maybe we should do this as a show. Is retirement is the same as unemployment? I mean, in a sense it is.
It is, but we can help you to stay employed. Let your money, instead of you working, let your money work for you.
Right.
Instead of you working for your money, let your money work for you. But and that's what we are here for, is to do that, to ensure that your money does work smartly for you instead of hardly for you, instead of working hard for your money. But
That's right.
that should be the next song, work hard for your money.
Yeah, that's right.
But to ensure that it does that, so that all those years of hard work you're able to enjoy.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It really needs to be done that way. So, Patty, it's crazy. Oh, we are out of time. So, folks, sorry about that. I went a little bit over. Call us at 800-440-0434. Go to mymoneysafe.com.
A quick reply. It's Lord I'll sing your song, make it loud and clear. The world is your concert, the audience wide. Not made for a prince, but only for we got the music.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Greg Elliott, the Prosperity Group. And are you concerned about what to do for income? We have a solution for you. We have a solution that you can take advantage of these inflated rates, 8%, 10%, 12%, and guarantee these numbers for your retirement income. When you retire, the question should be, what am I going to do by being unemployed for 35 years? Okay, that's what's happening. We're unemployed. So that means your nest egg and Social Security should take care of it. Folks, call us at 800-440-0434. Go to mymoneyissafe.com.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-504-8790. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-504-8790. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-504-8790.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
On the back burner, on your shared kitchen stove to catch fire.
Are you there?
It's not weird, it's just different how sometimes you're my preference how it's for real, no faking it. You told me I'm your second favorite.
Welcome back, folks. This is Greg Elliott of the Prosperity Group, and the song that you heard is a song written by my daughter, Annie Ellie, called Second Favorite. And she's a very prolific songwriter. She's spending time in Hawaii. I look like I'm in Hawaii with her, or the Bahamas, because that's what my background is now. but on Facebook, that is. So folks, you can go to Facebook and watch us live on Wednesday. We usually record between 8:30 and 9. It's unedited, of course, but then the edited version shows on our radio show. And also you can catch us on Your Carolina, where I'm on Your Carolina and the Carolinas. And also we're expanding our reach in Florida. So folks, give us a call, 1-800-440-0434. Go to mymoneyissafe.com. Patty, we talk about that, and I think I shocked people one time. I said that to him. I said, are you prepared to be unemployed for the next 25 to 35 years? And nobody thinks of retirement that way.
No, they don't.
But they really should. They really should. Many of our retirees, they end up having more income in retirement than they do while they're working, which is interesting.
That's absolutely right. And that's another, there are different ways you can look at that statement. Are you ready to be unemployed? One of them is, can you live on what you have available? And the other one is, can you live through the taxation of what you have? Because a lot of clients aren't used to that type of taxation.
Well, something, you just made me think of something. I'm just going to bring it up. The client, I know who you were referring to, on the income. I think we might be able to improve her accounts right now over what she had on some of these other incomes and get more growth out of the account. Because the fixed rate on some of these accounts, like I opened an account for somebody here in Sarasota and they're getting 5.25%. And I said, let's put 100% into the fixed account right now, 5.25%. That's a pretty good guaranteed rate right now. And now you throw in the income on top of that, the potential is really big. And this is what I'm saying. And here's another conversation I had with someone very similar in this mode. She says, well, what if I just move part of my 401k? I said, well, you're still improving your position. I said, so she had like $600,000, actually it was 700. And she decided to move 400 of it because she still thinks there's upside, but she agrees that things could change really quickly. Now, I think that's a good strategy because at least if the market, let's look at it this way. If she's got $600,000, the market loses 40%. She lost $240,000. If she puts 400 in safety and 200 into that, the market loses 40%. She lost $80,000, which is a lot better than losing $200,000. And that's what we're saying. You can take advantage of these 401k in-service rollovers right now, and you're not giving up gains. But people are so feared into thinking that they're missing out. It's this keep up with the Joneses mentality.
FOMO is a horrible thing.
What's that?
FOMO.
Yeah.
Fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out. FOMO is a horrible thing. And also, there's something that clients just don't realize or think about. I'm sitting here and I'm saying, I wish, 48 years old, 49 years old. And I'm thinking, I can't do an in-service rollover. I'm not 59 and a half. They're not going to let me do that. Yes, you can. Possibly. Because thing to ask is, how long have you been at that job? Is everything in your 401k from that current employer? Did you transfer rollover into your 401k a plan from another previous employer? If you did, it is very possible that those funds could be put into something through an in-service rollover. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And clients just don't think about that. And so if you are listening or you hear this at some point.
Hey, Doc, got your ears on?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Ken?
Well, I can't hear you. Let me see here. Should be. Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me now?
Nope, nothing yet. See your mouth moving, but I ain't hearing nothing. Let's see. I got my stuff all put up here, I think. This looks right. That looks right. That looks right. That looks right. Try it now.
Can you hear me now?
Hey, now we got you.
Okay.
You're sounding good. How you been?
I'm all right. I'm on my laptop this morning. We're on vacation up in Jacksonville. So you may not have the best sound and video, but I'm relaxing in bed in my t-shirt with Jenny Springs behind me.
That's good. I'll take it. You know, you sound fine. You'll be great.
Can you see my eyes okay?
Uh, yeah, they're there.
The problem is that unlike a desktop, laptop configuration is a little different. The desktop is not side by side like the laptop. I mean, the laptop's not side by side like the desktop. So I'll have to look back and forth. I may look a little funny, but what the hell?
That's right. We'll don't even mention it. No one on the radio will know.
And then when I laugh, everything bounces because I got the laptop on my lap.
Well, you sound good, and that's the important part, Doc.
That's probably true. One of the drug reps said she listened to my show and she said, "Your sound is great." So I guess that's what's most important to people, huh?
Oh, yeah, if they can't hear you, they're going to get frustrated. So that's make sure that is good, and the rest will follow, hopefully. How's
Hopefully.
everything on the doctor side today? You got some fun stuff to talk about?
I thought I'd talk about sunscreen a little bit because people are putting out all kinds of bad rumors about sunscreen being carcinogenic, which it's not. So it
Well,
actually
so is
protects.
going around without having a sunscreen. That's even worse.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's no evidence that sunscreen causes cancer. Now, the big concern is that some of the chemicals in the sunscreen are being absorbed systemically.
Well, I'm not out in the sun that much anyway to use enough to worry about it. But I got a 50 when I was on vacation. They were making fun of me.
Really?
Yeah, I said, you got a 50. Man, what's wrong with you, pal?
Well, they say that 30 or higher is what you should use, and some people say 50 is what you should use. So
I believe in buying the best when I can.
absolutely. So how are the Keys?
The Keys were delightful. We were on yeah, you can't smoke on a public beach down there in that county. It's a non-smoking beach county, but because we were at a resort, we were on a private beach, so we could smoke our butts off. And all of us are smokers.
Was anybody smoking pot?
If they did, it wasn't on the beach.
So how's Key West? Is it still weird?
We never got that far. We stopped at Marathon. It's about as far as we went.
Marathon? That's nice.
It was, yeah. It was. That's where the resort area was, and we didn't want. We've all been to the Keys. We've all done that tourist stuff, and we just wanted something that was quiet and relaxing, and we could just reminisce, and that's what we did.
Well, Marathon's pretty key. The water's clear there.
Yeah, it was a longer drive than I thought it was going to be from here, but it's turned out okay.
That's good. Well, we went to Jenny Springs Friday. That's Jenny Springs behind me.
And what's special about Jenny Springs?
Well, it's supposed to be one of the longer springs. I think that the spring actually connects with the St. John River. And the St. John River is the longest river in Florida. So you could actually canoe your way down to Jacksonville from near Alachua, near 75.
Now, you said you were in the Jacksonville area. You're saying Augusta. Where exactly did you say you were?
We started off in Alachua, Alachua. That's in the same county as Gainesville and the University of Florida. So it's just about 15 minutes from Gainesville. right off of I-75.
So is this one
Yeah.
of those things where they rent something and they put you in the river and they pick you up at the other end, kind of thing?
Yeah, but only this is a privately owned spring, and they don't pick you up. So we had to walk back with everything. And
That stinks. They should pick you up. What's wrong with these people?
I know it's not very nice of them. And of course, it was a holiday weekend, and there were tons and tons of revelers there. I mean, people were camped out. And I haven't seen that much flesh. Uh, it was really amazing, all the people there, and music and announcements and makeshift stages and people dancing. And one girl was out in front of us, and her girlfriend started playing some music. She stuck her ass up in the air and started wiggling with
Sounds
her
like
little
spring break, Doc.
with her little bikini on. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's the end of the school year, so everybody's celebrating them. We were
All
probably
right,
the
we're
oldest.
coming up on the news here in a couple seconds, and I will see you on the other side of the weather.
All right, buddy.
Thank you. God bless.
The preceding is sponsored by Prosperity Group, LLC, and is a pre-recorded program. To learn more, visit mymoneyissafe.com. That's mymoneyissafe.com.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka sees some funny business.
What is alleged is a transgression of federal election campaign financing law, which is strange from the get-go because this is not a federal court. This is a New York court.
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Weeknights at 9, right before Kevin Jackson at midnight on AM 860, The Answer and theanswertampa.com.
I'm Adam Holtz, and you're listening to Plugged In on Faith Talk Tampa.
I have this patient from India, a very brave girl. Hello, Kajan.
In the new Christian movie Sight, now in theaters, we meet Ming Wang. He's facing the biggest challenge of his professional career, using his renowned skill as the best eye doctor in the United States to restore sight to a poor Indian girl named Kajal. The movie also explores Ming Wang's backstory as he grows up during China's violent cultural revolution. And those two threads are interwoven with a bigger theme, the idea of receiving spiritual sight, not just the physical kind. Sight is based on a remarkable true story. It earns its PG-13 rating for depictions of violence in China and India that may make it a bit too intense for younger viewers. So we're giving it a 3.5 out of 5 for family friendliness. Read the full review at pluggedin.com/radio. I'm Adam Holtz for Focus on the Family's Plugged In Movie Review.
Circumstances are like a mattress.
British evangelist J. John offers this advice for dealing with difficult circumstances.
If you lie on top, it's nice and comfortable. If you lie underneath, you suffocate. So you say to somebody, how are you? And they say, well, I'm all right under the mattress. I can't breathe, but I'm all right. Look, stop being negative, be positive. When David saw Goliath, there were two possible reactions. The first reaction was, he's really big. Oh no, I better run away. The second reaction, he's really big. How can I miss?
A positive attitude really
59.
can change your perspective. Hear more from J. John at familyminute.org.
You getting me more coffee?
WGUL on W229DJ.
Did you get it switched over?
Powered by Prosperity Group.
Did you
Come
switch
grow
the
with
car?
us.
Oh, good.
Reach your retirement
Thank you.
goals.
Experience the best selection of cigars and accessories in the country. Corona Cigar is located at 4142 West Boy Scout Boulevard across from International Plaza, or visit coronacigar.com.
With SRN News, I'm Michael Harrington in Washington. Former President Trump spoke at the Libertarian Party convention Saturday.
We stand opposed to government tyranny in all of its many forms. We are opposed to a government that spies on political campaigns. I wonder who that might be. Like they did on me, spies on the American people.
Libertarians are largely uncommitted going into the November election, but probably more inclined to favor Mr. Trump. A key swing state wants to start tabulating voters sooner on election date. White House correspondent Greg Clugston fills us in on that.
Nevada's Secretary of State says election officials can start tabulating in-person Election Day votes as they come in, rather than waiting for polls to close. The recommendation applies to both Nevada's primary next month and the November general election. Under the plan, no results would be released until after the polls close. The changes could help ease anxiety over close races in a western swing state known for razor-thin margins. In 2022, a U.S. Senate race was decided by fewer than 8,000 votes. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Bangladesh has evacuated nearly 800,000 people from vulnerable areas as the country and neighboring India await the arrival of a severe cyclone that has formed over the Bay of Bengal. 3 airports have also been closed. The storm is expected to cross Bangladesh and India's West Bengal coasts about midnight tonight. UN member countries have concluded a new treaty to ensure that genetic resources used in inventions like new medicines derived from exotic plants in the Andes Mountains are properly traced. It marks the first time the 193 members of the UN's World Intellectual Property Organization have agreed on such patent applications. This is SRN News.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-353-2973 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-353-2973. That's 800-353-2973. What do you have to lose? Call 800-353-2973. Again, 800-353-2973.
Helping you get where you're trying to go. Get digital media solutions for your business. Visit surroundtampa.com. Surroundtampa.com. Just when you thought your smartphone couldn't get any smarter, now you can add the AM860 app with local news, national headlines, and commentary. The answer is smart. Adding the AM860 app to your smartphone is genius. Get it now at the Apple App Store and Google Play.
The following program is sponsored by Bay Area Medical Can Care Clinic.
For today, partly sunny, high 93. Tonight, mainly clear and humid with a low of 77. For tomorrow, mostly sunny and warm with a high of 93. Tomorrow night, mainly clear, warm and humid, low 79. On Tuesday, partly sunny and humid, high 92. Get your weather news when and how you want it wherever you are. Download our free app or visit AccuWeather.com. That's your AccuWeather forecast. I'm Caitlin Lawrence for AM 860, The Answer.
Go, Doc. Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Bill, your radio MD. Got Ken with me, and we're doing a radio show. And I am on vacation, and actually, I'm doing the show from my bed in the hotel room. So if you see me bouncing up and down a little bit, it's because the laptop is on my lap, and of course, the bed's got bed springs. So there you go, Ken.
Oh, what a trooper you are. You could have said, hey, let's play a best of or something. But no, there you are. I love that.
Don't make me laugh too much, or I'll go up and down, and the people on Facebook and YouTube will think they're on a cruise or something. Any rate, so
your chance to be in bed with Doc right now. Get on
right. You're in bed with me now, so we're all here together. Isn't this lovely? So we took off to Alachua, which is a town in Florida. It's in the same county as Gainesville, where the University of Florida is, and the county is actually called Alachua or Alachua, however you pronounce it. I don't know. At any rate, there's a ton of springs around here, and we wanted to go to Jenny Springs, which was supposed to be a really nice natural spring. Now, Ken, you probably didn't know this, but there are more natural springs in Florida than anywhere in the world. No country, no state, no island, nothing has as many natural springs as we do. And we also have the deepest and the largest by volume, which is Waukulla. and that's just south of Tallahassee. But we went to Jenny Springs. This is one of the few springs that is privately owned. It's not part of the state park system, so you got to pay. It ain't cheap, buddy boy. I think it was $50 to get in, and then you have to rent everything after that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, of course, a holiday weekend, and all the kids are out of college, so it was packed. I mean, every camping spot was taken, music blaring everywhere, girls with hardly any clothes on. It was horrible, and
it was
dancing,
horrible.
dancing and thongs and what else? Skinny old man had on a thong. It's like, dude, you're making a fool of yourself. But I think he was a little crazy, so it didn't matter. At any rate, it does not have all the amenities of some of the state-run programs. So there was not there was a haul-out place for your tube, but you had to carry it back up yourself or bring your vehicle down to the area. So it's a little different, but it was very pleasant. And as you can see, the springs behind me there, that's Jenny Springs. And there are just so many beautiful springs, and the water is cool, cold. Oh my gosh, clear. See all the way down at the bottom. A couple of dead bodies down there.
It looks like it's a little crowded, the picture that we're looking at here.
Oh, it was crowded, man. It was crowded.
I don't like they should drive you back. They should have a tram going back and forth with bringing people up from the if we're going to float down the river like that.
It might have been because it was so crowded that they weren't doing it. But
all right, well,
I don't know.
I'd leave that in the suggestion box on the way out there.
Yeah, I would actually. It was a little bit of a Gestapo situation. You know, there were guys I'm surprised they didn't have Uzis at the gatehouse. That'll be $50 to get in, and then on the way out you have to stop. They jump out in front of you and make you give your car pass back because they don't want you to reuse it or give it away to somebody else.
Sure,
must be making money, buddy boy. Must be making money.
But for $50, you should be on a tram coming back with your pool.
We should have been on a tram, but I guess we needed the exercise, so we we walked a half a mile back to the tube station. But all the kids that worked there were very nice. It was a very pleasant experience, and got to see a lot of pretty girls and bikinis and all that. So,
and what's it called again?
Jenny Springs, Ginnie, Jenny Springs, and I think it's in a little town near Alachua called High Springs, I think, but don't quote me on that. Any rate, it's right off of I-75, so there's plenty of ability to get there and plenty of parking space. And oh my gosh, the camping! I've never seen so many campers in such a small place. There must have been hundreds and hundreds of them. And, they'd set up with their own signs, like, butt falls, and all these weird names. And I guess it was Old Home Week for a lot of these people.
I'll bet it is a place where people come every year. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I'm betting that a lot of these people were college buddies, the older ones. By older, I mean in their 30s, because I didn't see anybody anywhere close to our age, except for the skinny little old man with the thong on. And then I thought, damn, that's not good advertisement for the age group here.
It's a lot of paddle boats kind of thing and canoes and.
Oh yeah.
Just getting together with nature.
Because it was so crowded, they were only renting tubes on Friday. So normally when it's not too crowded, they rent paddle boats and canoes and kayaks.
That sounds nice.
It was really, really delightful. And the water is cold. Oh my gosh. It is. I mean, it's 95 degrees out and you jump in that water. It's like a godsend. It's a relief. And by the way, that brings me to the question of sunscreen. The SPF.
Sure, I had to buy a bottle last week on vacation. We were down in the Keys.
Can you put some water in there?
So I bought myself a 50, and The other guy started making fun of me.
I wouldn't worry about that. 50 is better than 30.
Yeah, you can't get any better than 50.
And SPF is the sun protective factor, and it's how long it takes your skin to turn red underneath the sunscreen. And so then they do a scale from there, and the longer it takes, the less exposure you're getting. Now, the main chemical they're using, and this is called oxybenzone, OXYBENZONE. And apparently, this chemical will take the ultraviolet light, which is above our visible range. It's above the ultra blue range. So this is the ultraviolet A is the one that causes the most problem. And what happens is it will form a chemical reaction with this oxybenzone, and it will change it from ultraviolet to a lower waveform, infrared or a blue, and not an infrared, that's way down, but a blue light, which will not penetrate the skin and not do damage. But it also produces a little heat. So you may notice when you put on your sunscreen, you get a little hotter, a little quicker. That's okay. So the big brouhaha as of late is, does it cause cancer, the oxybenzone? No, there's no proof of that. A big study out of the National Institute of Health. They looked at rat studies and mice studies and retrospective studies, clinical studies that doctors and clinics have done, and there's no evidence that it is carcinogenic. That is, it doesn't cause cancer in humans. So let's get rid of that myth. That's one more myth to get rid of, so that you wear your sunscreen. Because guess what? The biggest number of cancers in the world are skin.
Yeah. Well, we know the sun causes cancer.
Yeah, we know that.
There's no question about that.
And there's tons of studies to show that using sunscreen cuts down on squamous cell and melanoma skin cancers. The melanomas are the bad ones. That's the one I've had cut off a couple of times. That one will kill you. Squamous cell, you have to wait about 10 years for it to really crank up and get out of the barn. Once it's out of the barn, though, it's all over. There's no cure for metastatic squamous cell skin cancer, at least not that I know of.
So lather up at the beach.
Yeah, lather up at the beach, and don't worry about all of this hoorah about it being carcinogenic. It's not. And then the next thing they went after was with this oxybenzone is the systemic absorption of it. Oh my God, there's systemic absorption. You're going to die from liver cancer. And I can't tell you the number of people that come in, and the main thing they're worried about is their liver and liver cancer. I won't take Motrin because it can cause liver cancer. It's not processed by the liver. It's excreted by the kidneys, and so it doesn't affect your liver. But people get these ideas in their head, and they read all these things on the internet, and it's kind of hard to change their minds because, well, I saw it on YouTube or Facebook or Google.
True or false? Your job would be a lot easier if the internet didn't exist.
We've had so many Google cancers lately, and they're
Really?
horrible. They're horrible cancers because they never die, but they never get cured. They just keep coming back like bad coins. I know I'm dying of Google cancer. No, you're not. Yes, I am.
Google cancer.
I'm busy.
Yeah,
so now the Democrats are going after Sam Alito's wife because after January 6th, she hung a flag upside down at their house. And so the Democrats are saying, well, she's supporting, insurrection. She said, no, I was mad at my neighbor. So it was a distress signal. She was fighting with her neighbor, and she looks like a feisty little thing. Sam looks like a kind of a pug face guy, but she's kind of a pleasant looking little old lady. And, but I wouldn't want to cross horns with her because, like my wife, she looks so cute and peaceful and kind. Boy, don't cross her. You're liable to get your nose cut off. So that's Sam Alito's wife. He's under fire because of some of the decisions that were made recently there was a district in South Carolina that was re-gerrymandered, and the state sued the commission that does the voting districts in South Carolina and said this was racist because a lot of the people in part of the district that were black were moved into another district that was predominantly black already, and so that got all the liberals upset, and they sued, and the Supreme Court said, no, this isn't race based. This is just politics and political, you know, cutting things up so that it's in the best interest of whatever party's in power. It's been going on since the beginning of the republic, and there
I
was a
guarantee
guy.
you, Democratic states are just as gerrymandered as anything else.
Oh yeah, but
more.
It's worse.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? Because
the law of the land.
Democrats are going to yell and scream and go to court over silly stuff, and the Republicans are going to try to save their money for something meaningful.
It's all perfectly legal, so and
it's all perfectly legal.
Stop worrying about it.
I think the gerrymandering came from a congressman named Jerry, Gerry, back in the 19th century, early 19th century, and because of what did and I think it was Pennsylvania in the state, they started calling it gerrymandering, cutting up the state into electoral districts that are the most favorable to the party that's in power.
That's right.
So what are you going to do?
Wait 10 years, be in power.
I mean, if you want to stay in power, you got to use your power.
Yeah. Anyway.
Any rate,
so we're not going to solve that one today.
No, but the Supreme Court did, and now the Democrats are all mad at Alito because he wrote the majority opinion, and everybody knows he's a racist because he wrote the majority opinion.
Well, I think people were having trouble believing it was his wife, so I'm glad his wife came out and finally said, "Hey, yeah, I put that thing up the pole."
Yeah, it was my doing.
That's
if you don't like
my
it,
neighbor was upsetting me.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, tough to nukas. And if you bother me anymore, I'm going to put it upside down again.
That's right.
So then Governor Sununu, our governor up there in the Northeast, up in the
New York, is that New York?
No, I think that's
Maine,
New Hampshire.
Oh, New Hampshire. Okay.
Live free or die, isn't that New Hampshire?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I think that's New Hampshire. Any rate, he was in an interview, and the interviewer asked him if there were any of the governors that he worked with from all the other states that were difficult or he didn't like. He did not have nice things to say about California or New York's governor. So Governor Cuomo got bad ratings from Sununu. He called him an a-hole and said he was impossible to work with. And then Gavin Newsom, he said he's just a jerk. He is not a nice man, and you can't work with him under any circumstances. He said he gets along with most of the other governors, even the ones that are diametrically opposed to him politically. The governor of Oregon, he and she are good buddies, and but they don't agree on anything. So that I don't think that marriage would stick together. But
well, it'd be a cross country kind of thing. It'd be tough to keep it together. You're right.
Yeah, those long range romances never work.
That's right.
Unless you're just really poor and desperate and ugly. and then you got to take what you can get when you can get it, man.
This described most of my life.
Yeah, well,
poor, desperate, and ugly.
Hey, you caught one.
I did. I got very lucky.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the fact that I was in radio helped a little bit, maybe.
Well, she thought you were something special.
Yeah, exactly.
Now she won't even listen to you.
That's right.
I'm sick of your voice. Get out.
Yeah. You go home and say, "Hey, you hear a show this morning?" No, I was listening to, like I do every morning. Oh, thank you.
I got a cute one, but boy, is she noisy. Oh, my gosh. I don't know. Are they all that way, Ken, or is yours that way?
Noisy? I wouldn't say noisy. Talkative.
Talkative. Well,
talkative. Yeah.
That's noise.
But I'm not that talkative at home, so.
Oh, well, that's good.
I save all my talking for the radio.
I got to tell you, this is a true story. my wife wakes up this morning and she's half asleep. I mean, her eyes are still closed and she's snoring between her orders to me. And the first thing she does is give me an order to go down and check on the car. Now, if that isn't a wife for you, I don't know what is.
Check on the car.
Yeah, check on the car because we plugged into one of the outlets at the charging station here at the hotel, and it wasn't working. And the other one was busy, so she's pestering me all night long to check and see if the other car is gone yet, so we can move our car over there and start charging. So, shh, no talking, woman. She's already over here
So
giving me what for.
Her first thought this morning was check the car.
Check the car, and not I'm going to go check the car. Billy, you get up and go check the car now.
And bring some coffee back on the way back.
And bring coffee and
some
don't
donuts.
and don't give me a hard time. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
a vacation for a married man usually.
You got to love them. At least she's cute.
Helps.
And sexy.
There you go.
And she can drink coffee really well.
You can tell she's in the room this week. He's talking much nicer about her.
Oh, yeah, you got to, because she'll come over here and whack me.
Right there on the screen. Yeah, that would be nice.
Right in the middle of the show. If you see a big Korean hand come into the screen, you know what's going on here.
Now she could pour a bucket of water on you, like you're in the actually move you into the scene that's behind you on the screen.
No, she wouldn't do that, because then she'd have to buy me a new laptop. And her laptop is never too expensive, but mine, you spent way too much money. You don't need another laptop. Just let that one dry out.
Well, we're lucky to have them, Doc.
Oh, we are. Where would we be without them?
I have no idea. My life would have been completely different, that's for sure.
Yep. You would have smoked twice as much.
Oh, maybe. I wouldn't have two daughters, though, who I love very much.
There you go. I hope they don't smoke.
No, they hate it.
I can't say I blame them.
Well, they probably hated it every year they were growing up, but never really said anything.
Did you know that smoking increases your chances of skin cancer?
Why not?
That's a fact, Jack. And I wouldn't lie to you.
Smoking is not good for you in any way, shape, or form.
But you know, with a lot of the psychiatric patients back in the day, it really helped them. It helped keep them calm. The schizophrenics, I was always surprised to see that.
Well, maybe it's helping with me. Maybe if I'm schizophrenic, I just don't know it because I smoke.
Or maybe you're just not calm to begin with.
I am kind of a jumpy guy.
Now you're back. You're calm after a cigarette or two.
Yeah, it can do it. It really can.
We always send him out for a cigarette right before the show.
I don't know. I got to do something, though. I got to figure this out.
You can do it.
That's what they say, but I don't know.
It's not easy.
Every time I've tried, it hasn't worked out.
Well, it's not easy, that's for sure.
No,
it's highly addictive, and some people more so than others.
Yeah. So, well, I haven't tried in a while. Maybe I should give it a serious try again.
Maybe AI will help you out.
AI?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how, but.
Yeah, well, you can Google it and see. And hey, AI, how can I quit smoking?
AI will say it doesn't care. You'll be dead in 3.5 years. You're dying on, it will tell me on the day I'm dying. You're dying on February 3rd, 2026. So we're not too concerned about you right now.
Oh, and everybody's all upset, and they think AI is going to replace them and their job, and robots are taking over. Remember, we went through this with computers. Remember when the laptops were coming in the 80s and 90s?
Sure.
Everybody was in a panic. Oh, my God, we're not going to have jobs. Hell, we have more jobs than ever. We can't fill them all.
No, the problem is AI is going to come up with ways to keep us all alive till we're 120, and then we're going to be a problem with food and taking care of people and Social Security.
And I know, the Social Security system is going to really have a bellyache.
Yeah. Especially with millennials, not having kids as much as the previous generations.
Yep.
Somebody's got
It'll
to
be
pay for that. Yeah.
Somebody will have to pay for it, and they think that it's all free. So we'll see. And
Yeah.
when they start getting hit with 50% tax rate, we'll see how much they like their left-wing outlook.
Exactly. So, yeah, you learn as you grow.
You learn as you grow.
You start seeing that money disappear.
Yeah, and when you're working hard for it too, when you're young, you feel like, well, I'm giving back to society. But then when you get into your 40s, you're like, wait a minute, I got to save some money here.
I got to get some retirement going.
I got kids to put through college.
Exactly. It's all very
Yeah.
expensive. Yeah.
So speaking of AI, Benjamin Craver, who is a student at Emory University in Atlanta, and Emory is a really top-notch school. He was suspended for creating an AI app that is called 8Ball with another friend of his. And what it did is it would take the information from the website that the university has, where the professors can upload their course syllabi and slideshows and PowerPoints and all that, and it would turn those things into something you could manipulate and use, like make them into flashcards or whatever. And he actually won a prize the spring before that was sponsored by the university, and he got $10,000. But when they actually created it, then the university said, well, no, this is going to help people cheat. So they suspended him. And so he, believe it or not, they helped him create it, and then they suspended him. Wait a minute. So
I mean, if that particular program is absorbing everything from the class, then it could easily write a term paper or whatever they needed done.
Well, but what the professors are saying is that if you use AI to help you write a term paper, then you have to cite it as a source, as a reference source. And so what the professors in the University Council of Government are saying is, well, how are you going to keep kids honest? How are you going to know that they're going to cite it, that they used AI as a source? Well, the next thing that's going to happen is the professor is going to say, wait a minute, this all sounds too good. Everybody's getting an A. So then they'll go back to oral exams.
Yeah, exactly.
See how much you really know. So and when you come in all tongue-tied and mumbling, then they know.
Yeah, when your whole semester hangs on one question. You're right. But it'll be interesting to see how AI works out. I'm a little worried about it. And in some ways, I think it'll be fantastic. In other ways, I think it'll be very, very dangerous, depending on who's running it.
I think that we're going to be so hyper acute about whether or not it is being honest or not. I'm already vetting things, because if you go to Google now and you search for something, it says, would you like AI to search for you? Sure, I'm lazy.
Yeah, look at everything. Yeah.
So it saves me a few steps, and preparing for the show is 4 to 6 hours a week of research.
I can do it faster. Why not?
If somebody can do it faster for me, you go, boy or girl or AI, or I don't know. Do they have a gender AI?
If you want one, I'm sure they can.
Okay. All right. So good.
All right. You know what? I'm going to give you a break since you're on vacation. You already worked solid 30 minutes here.
Oh, wow.
So I think we're going to give you a little break to get you out of bed, stretch a little bit, grab some coffee. And meanwhile, we're going to do a little contest here.
Oh, boy.
And the phone number is, where's the phone number? There it is. 877-969-8600, 877-969-8600. First person with the correct answer to this question will win 2 Dr. Bill, your Radio MD coffee mugs. And we know the doc is on vacation. Where is the doc on vacation?
Yahoo.
Name the place. It's I'll give you a hint. It's a Springs. It's a Springs at the end there. So just give me the first name.
And it's not coiled. All right.
You're on a coil spring, but you're at blank springs. Fill in the blank. And the first
blank.
First person with the correct answer at 877-969-8600 will win. That's 877-969-8600. You should call now, and they are. Anything else, Doc, at this point?
727-384-6411, 727-384-6411. If you call the office this weekend, they will send me a text message if you are in crisis. So I am never away from you, wherever I'm at in the world.
All right. Very good. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Hang in there. We're coming right back.
Experience the best selection of cigars and accessories in the country. Corona Cigar is located at 4142 West Boy Scout Boulevard across from International Plaza, or visit coronacigar.com.
With SRN News, I'm Michael Harrington in Washington. Authorities say at least 2 people are dead after severe weather swept across Texas and Oklahoma overnight, causing extensive damage and outages. Deaths in the Valley View, Texas area occurred last night, according to the local sheriff. Forecasters have issued tornado and severe thunderstorm warnings for parts of both states. An official in Denton, Texas, says a tornado caused damage to homes, power lines, and trees there. The International Organization for Migration has increased its estimate of the death toll from a massive landslide in Papua New Guinea to more than 670. The chief of the UN Migration Agency's mission in the South Pacific nation says the revised death toll is based on calculations from several villages that had not yet checked in. More than 150 homes buried in Friday night's landslide in one province alone. This is SRN News.
Dr. Bill for Bay Area Medical, located at 6399 38th Avenue North in St. Pete, 727-384-6411, 727-384-6411. Full service clinic with x-ray, heart imaging, ultrasound, stress testing, and minor surgery. We provide quality health care in a warm and friendly atmosphere. We are multilingual, well-trained, and certified. Most American insurance and new patients accepted. Bay Area Medical, home of can care, 727-384-6411. 727-384-6411.
Dr. Bill here. With social distancing and sheltering in place, telemedicine is here. Bay Area Medical Home of Can Care Clinic offers telemedicine for new and established patients. You can see me without an in-office visit. Schedule an appointment at 727-384-6411, 727-384-6411. When it's time for your appointment, type this web address into your cell phone or computer web browser, doxy.me/Bay Area Med. A cell phone works well and is all you really need. For computers, you need a web camera and speakers. We'll give you this address when you call for your appointment. We accept most insurances and travel insurances. Canadians and visitors, please call your travel insurance company for an authorization number prior to the visit. Copays and deductibles apply. Self-pay rates are available. Just ask. We accept credit cards, PayPal, and Stripe. 727-384-6411, 727-384-6411.
Dr. Bill here. My friends at St. Pete MRI and Sleep Diagnostics are your best choice for state-of-the-art MRI, CT, and sleep studies. Quality unsurpassed. 25 years experience makes St. Pete MRI my go-to imaging center. Self-pay rates are competitive and out-of-pocket cost a fraction of a hospital. Conveniently accessible from both sides of the bay at 750 94th Avenue North, St. Pete, near the Gandhi. 727-577-2220, 727-577-2220.
Helping you get where you're trying to go. Get digital media solutions for your business. Visit surroundtampa.com. Surroundtampa.com.
For today, partly sunny, high 93. Tonight, mainly clear and humid with a low of 77. For tomorrow, mostly sunny and warm with a high of 93. Tomorrow night, mainly clear, warm and humid, low 79. On Tuesday, partly sunny and humid, high 92. Get your weather news when and how you want it wherever you are. Download our free app or visit AccuWeather.com. That's your AccuWeather forecast. I'm Caitlin Lawrence for AM 860, The Answer.
Go ahead, Doc.
And I'm back. This is Dr. Bill, your radio MD. We're doing a show today with Ken and me. Or is it me and Ken or Ken and I? I can't remember.
It's the two of us and Robert Rogers listening for sure. That much we know.
Robert Rogers. Oh, boy, Robert. Welcome.
Robert from St. Pete. And he knew the answer to the question, which the question was, Doc is on vacation right now. He's out at the Springs, and Robert knew it was what, Doc?
Jenny Springs. Oh boy.
That's right, Jenny Springs. And Robert, you're going to get a couple of mugs, a couple of Dr. Bill, your Radio MD coffee mugs sent right to your house. You can have coffee with us every Sunday morning right here if you like.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much for Robert and everybody else who tried to win.
Thanks, Robert. And by the way, Robert, once again, we have more freshwater springs in Florida than anywhere on the planet. And there's a dozen plus, but probably 24 state parks that are natural springs and manatees and wildlife and beautiful overhanging cypress and oak trees. The canopies are wonderful. The water's cool. Did you know that the prettiest of the springs is Rainbow, Ken? And that is right up near us in Dunellen, which is just north of Citrus County.
I've never been in any of Florida springs. I should take a
Oh,
look.
you should go. It's it's an hour and a half, 2 hour drive up to Dunellen, an hour and a half, I would say. And they have the new Sunshine or Suncoast Parkway that goes up into Citrus County. So you can take that up if you want, or I-75 and jump off. But really beautiful, just a beautiful spring. And they have a haul in and haul out area, and there's a restaurant along the way on the water, and just a lot of activity, and just really gorgeous.
And it looks like it's from the pictures I'm seeing anyway. It looks like it's good family fun. So
yeah. Well, Jenny Springs was college fun when we were there on Friday. So
okay.
Wow.
Well, it's fun for everybody then, I guess.
It's fun for everybody. So you remember Peter Navarro?
Oh yeah, sure.
He was a Trump. I don't think he was a cabinet member, but I think he was on one of his council's advisory council. So he was real close with Trump, and he got sent to federal prison for several months because he refused to answer some questions before Congress. So they held him in contempt. And he's apparently the first government official ever sent to jail by Congress for being in contempt of Congress. So that's quite a distinction for Mr. Navarro. And he said he did not want to be pardoned because Trump said if Trump wins, he's going to pardon Peter Navarro. And Peter said, I don't want to be pardoned. I want to take this through the legal system. So he wants to take this all the way up to the Supreme Court. I guess he got fined and got some jail time. And he's at the federal prison in Miami. There's some hardcore guys there. So Peter, watch yourself. It's not a good place to be. I mean, here's a guy that was, he was a suit, and he just said, no, I'm not answering that. Now, if a Democrat goes to Congress and refuses to answer or gives a bunch of phony baloney, they don't get put in jail. Remember when Hunter Biden, when he refused to go?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Congress said, we're going to hold you in contempt, but they didn't. And that's a Republican House that threatened him, but they didn't do it.
Well, I'm sure they will from now on.
They might. You never know.
I'm sure they will. Retaliatory measures are appropriate in politics most of the time. That's usually what happens. That's what happens.
This is one of my criticisms of Trump. He was way too nice. I mean, he should have really gone after some of these people, and he's even saying that now himself. He said, I'm really going to go after some of these department heads, the head of the FBI and the head of this and the head of that. And finally, I'm saying, yeah, put on the gloves, because he talks tough. But then when he gets in there behind closed doors, he's a negotiator. I mean, you don't make big business deals by being a tough a-hole.
No, you solve problems by being a negotiator, right?
Yeah, you solve problems and you work with people, and this is how you get into business and make big money in business.
How the world works.
Yeah. Well, he's probably got hundreds of limited partnerships around the world. I told you we were in Busan in Korea, and we were driving around. There was like a 20 or 30 acre plot there that was had his name on it. Well, not his, it was the limited partnership, and they were going to build apartments or condos or whatever on that. This is in South Korea, man. I was shocked.
That was
he's worldwide. Yeah.
He's worldwide. That was like 15, 20 years ago. I don't remember how long ago it was. But it's fascinating to see the effect this man has had on the world. And I laud his people like Navarro for standing up. You go, guy.
I would take the pardon if he wants to offer it, but it kind of guess it's kind of an admission of guilt, then I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an admission that I did something wrong, and he's
Right.
saying I didn't do anything wrong. This is an argument between separation or of separation and for separation of powers, that the executive and the legislative branch, in certain areas, they don't cross over, and it's like the presidential Documents Act, the classified documents. I've maintained from the get-go that Congress does not have the authority to tell the president what is classified and what is not. That's in his wheelhouse, not in Congress's. And there's a reason.
Well, he is commander in chief, yeah, and it's the military thing, isn't it? Pretty much.
I mean,
yeah.
it only makes sense because if you have Congress deciding what's classified and what isn't, then you've got 435 people that know what
Congress
the
can't
secret
keep a
documents
secret.
are, and there's not 10% of that body that could keep their mouth shut.
No way. No
way.
It'll be on the streets so fast.
Oh yeah.
No, you can't leave that to Congress.
No, and then that's why the president can negotiate treaties. Now the Senate has to ratify them, but it should be something done by one. I mean, you can't have that many people. You can't have a committee negotiating a peace treaty. Hell, you'll never get it done.
Yeah,
they say true. A camel is a horse created by a committee. it's a horse that's designed by a committee.
No, you got to look back though. Back in the Vietnam days when the negotiating was going on, it wasn't done by a huge group of people. It was what was his name? Was working for Nixon there. Secretary Kissinger.
Kissinger, yeah.
It was Kissinger and his team of people, and that was it.
That was it, and they negotiated, and
whether
you like the outcome or not.
Well, we were also bombing, so
they got it done. I mean,
yeah, it was carrot and stick kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that I don't want to relive the Vietnam War, but very simply, we bombed Hanoi, and that ended the war. They came to the table then.
Yeah.
We should have done that 10 years earlier.
I was going to say, LBJ didn't have the guts to do it, I guess.
No, they were Democrats. It was Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson that were running the show then.
But the Pentagon must have been very frustrated. We take these guys out in a day,
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think they really were that organized. And I'm sure there are political divisions within something as big as the Pentagon and the military hierarchy. So I don't know which way the Army votes and the Navy and everybody. But remember, too, these are people that if they stick it out, they're going to get a pension.
Oh, yeah.
So they're sucking off the government tit, and they're not going to upset that if they can help it.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do?
Well, I think that we need to better define the separation of powers between legislative and executive branch. And of course, the liberals don't like that. They're all upset. They want a parliamentary form of government where the legislation has control over everything, because then it's in the people's hands. Yeah, to hell with the people.
Yeah.
They kind of get on my nerves after a while.
Oh, okay, Doc. Well,
all right, I'm back now. I don't know. Democracy is the best form of government, but boy, does it suck.
Well, it's tough to handle. Yeah,
it's difficult. Yeah, I told you, democracy and an autocracy. You know the difference.
What's the difference?
Okay, in an autocracy, you've got the king or the emperor or the dictator, and he's in a big battleship. He's up in the wheelhouse, up on the tower, and he's looking down, and he's got 10 inches of armor plating, and nothing can destroy him. No other ship on the planet. And all of a sudden, he runs into an iceberg and he sinks. Democracy is a bunch of dinghies and rafts and lifeboats and
and runabouts, and they're all strapped together. They're all anchored up together, and everybody's kicking and fighting, and the guys on the outside are screaming that they shouldn't have to do all the work, and the guys on the inside say, well, yeah, but we're in charge and we're telling you which direction to go, and nobody knows which direction they're really going in. But guess what? They hit an iceberg and they bounce off.
Yeah,
and they keep going.
That's right.
And
that's not a bad analogy.
Yeah, and so that's the difference between an autocracy and a democracy.
Well, I'll take the democracy every time.
Well, that's because you're brainwashed.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, I want an autocracy with me in charge.
Oh, that's different. Yeah, okay.
And I'm not in it for the cash, baby.
Well, I am. So give me a good spot, would you please?
All right, I'll give you a good spot in my cabinet. I'll put you in charge of commerce.
There you go.
Then you can do
I can be your court jester. I got jester. I'll be your court jester.
Yeah. So now up in Boston City Council, we've got a new council member, and her name is Tanya Fernandez Anderson, and she is an immigrant, and I guess she's from somewhere in Africa, and she's calling for a revolution, and she wants to tear down the system and have real equality, and she's argumentative and threatening, and everybody on the city council is afraid of her. And she's a Muslim.
Mm. Okay, well,
she's a little wacko, and she yells and screams and threatens people, and she threatens the city workers. And
that's how you get on television, Doc.
That's it, right there. And so
that's how you further your career in politics.
So she's calling for revolution and for equity, and of course, when she calls for revolution, it's okay because she's left. Now, somebody on the right calls for revolution, that's treason and sedition and inciting revolution. But that's okay. We're big kids. We can handle it.
She tell us how she's going to pay for all this equity?
She's going to tax you and me, buddy boy.
I'm afraid so. Yeah, well, that's not my kind of revolution. Thank you very much.
So anybody who disagrees with her is a racist. And in Boston, to be called a racist is like being called a Yankee down here in Florida. So everybody's afraid of her because they'll be called a racist. Oh my God. And she'll put a fatwa on you. You know what a fatwa is?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's a Muslim we're coming after you, baby.
Who was the writer that had he had a fatwa on her?
Salman Rushdie.
Salman Rushdie, yeah.
And it wasn't even some fundamentalist. It was just some crazy guy that got into this. I guess he was at a
I never heard that. You're kidding. He wasn't a fundamentalist? He wasn't doing the fatwa or whatever?
I think he was a fundamentalist, but I think he was basically psychotic. I don't think I think I may be wrong, but I think he went to a psychiatric hospital. He came in with was it a knife? I can't remember. I think
it was a knife. I think they stabbed him in the eye. Yeah.
Got him right in the eye, man. Yeah. Ouch. So now he's the one-eyed Rushdie.
Pretty much.
Oh my God.
So hey, he survived. The fatwa, I guess, is still alive. And I was wondering if you die, but if you died, if he would have died and then been brought back by medical professionals, would the fatwa have been settled because he did die, but he was brought back? So does he get a second chance then? Is it canceled?
I don't know, but here's the thing: in the 7th century or 8th century, when Muhammad was receiving his encoded message from the angel Gabriel. By the way, it was after he'd had a seizure, so he was post-ictal. And when you're post-ictal or post-seizures, you can oftentimes hallucinate. And nowadays, we just have them on medicine. There'd be no Islam. But at any rate, so there was no mental illness per se that people recognized at that time. And I don't think there was life-saving recitative abilities at that time either. So I think once you bit the dust, you bit the dust. Now, maybe there was something that slowed your heart rate down and made you look like you were dead, like big doses of digitalis. And some people think that maybe Jesus got some on the cross, that the Roman soldier that held up the sponge had something in it that slowed his heart rate down and made it look like he was dead.
Unlikely.
But I don't know. I don't know.
So we may have found a loophole. CPR.
We may have, but
CPR,
remember this.
You're already dead, but we brought him back. So
when you start talking about miracles by people like Jesus, Dr. Bill's brought way more people back to life than he ever did.
Okay.
So you can just back up a minute, buddy boy. Give me some working room.
All right. We're not discounting your powers at all.
Oh, thank you. Oh, good. I feel better.
All right. Your powers to heal are very, very well known and it's very strong. Look at me. You kept me alive. Come on.
Well, I'm trying my best, but it's not an easy task, Ken. No. It's not an easy task.
I mean, I think I've canceled the last 5 appointments I've had to have with you because
you don't like me anymore.
No, I love you, Doc. It's just the work, and life interferes, and I have to remove things around.
Plus, you have enough of me on Sunday, so you really don't need it anymore, and you don't have to pay for this.
I think the 18th I'm coming in to see you. I think that's the new date now.
I think that you guys are on Cigna, aren't you? Your insurance?
No, I just went to Medicare, so I'm on United Healthcare now.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I got a G plan or something.
I think Mary just texted me that we have to fill out some kind of form because she wants us on Cigna so that we can take care of everybody at the station. I think it's Cigna.
Could be. I don't know. I just got off of that plan and went on Medicare. So
yeah. So at any rate,
that was fun, by the way. Those of you who haven't gone through the Medicare change, you're going to love that.
Make sure you do it within 3 months of your birthday, because otherwise you'll be penalized. You
That's right.
Get on Medicare right away once you turn 65.
And choose a plan. Most people go with the Advantage plan, I guess, is what is popular right now anyway.
Which is breaking the system. Breaking
the system?
Yep.
Too expensive for the, well, it's really a no-cost plan for most people, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, for the people that get it. But for you and me, it's increases in our taxes. And we're running out of money in Medicare and Social Security.
Do you think Advantage will be a pay-as-you-go kind of thing at some point? Maybe not. Large payment monthly.
I don't know. Who knows how the Congress will resolve this? Basically, it's a committee work, and the whole HMO thing came out of World War II and Kaiser Permanente. Kaiser was the businessman that saved the country with the Liberty ships.
Yes. Okay.
The Liberty ships were cheap, 250, 300-foot long cargo ships that were mass produced, thousands of them, to ferry goods across the Atlantic and the Pacific, mostly the Atlantic, to keep Britain alive and to supply the troops when we got into the battle in Europe. So Kaiser had these like little towns that you would live in if you were in the shipbuilding aspect of his business. And in order to get health care, you'd pay $1 a week, and then you could go down to the clinic and get whatever you needed. And if you had an appendix that needed to come out, well, you'd be admitted and that'd be taken care of. So your health care costs were minimal, $52 a year. Not bad.
Yeah.
And so he and Richard Nixon were big buddies, and they were trying to figure out what to do about the healthcare system in the late 60s and early 70s because they foresaw it going broke. And so they came up with this idea of emulating, copying what Mr. Kaiser had done. And they created the HMOs, which, by the way, got their start by being tax-free for the first 20 years. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, no.
Yeah, and they got federal subsidies, so big cheat scheme. Made those of us in private practice who decided we didn't agree with that system, which basically says if you cut the cost for each patient, then we'll give you X amount of dollars, let's say $1,000 a month per patient, and you take care of the patient, Dr. Bill, and whatever you can save, cut down on, then you get to keep that. So all of a sudden, a lot of these specialists were like, wait a minute, where'd my referral source go? Well, it went out the window with the HMOs, because the primary care doctors would say, well, hell, I can do that. I can take a skin cancer off. I can treat rheumatoid arthritis. I can do all of this. I don't need to send my patients out for everything. And so they did. And that supposedly that cut down on the cost. Then as it evolved, the government got more and more into it and started saying, wait a minute, we're not going to pay for this, or we will pay for that, but there'll be limitations. And then they got to negotiating with the hospitals and said, here's how much we'll pay for it. The diagnostically regulated groups, the DRGs, said, well, if you have a patient with pneumonia, you get 3 hospital days, and here's what we'll pay, and that's it. And then the hospital said, well, what if it's complicated? What if they have infection in their chest wall from the pneumonia, and they need a chest tube, and they need drainage, and they need long-term antibiotics? Well, then they started adding modifiers onto it. So if you had more modifiers, you got more money. And so guess what?
Got more modifiers.
You got more modifiers. And some of these hospitals actually cheated.
No.
Can you believe that? They actually sort of added on little modifiers here and there that didn't really exist. And Columbia, HCA, when HCA and Columbia got together, HCA did not know that Columbia had done this, and the government was investigating them. And then when they became HCA, guess what they had to pay?
How much?
$1 billion fine.
Yikes.
For upcoding.
Yikes.
So at any rate,
that sounds a little complicated. You need a whole staff just to take care of that, don't you?
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It just and you can't just submit your bills directly to Medicare anymore. It has to go through a clearinghouse, because the clearinghouse scans it and says, wait a minute, this is not going to be accepted by Medicare because you didn't dot the I and cross the T here. Then they send it back to you, and you have to redo it.
And of course, they're being paid as well.
Well, yeah,
everybody's being paid, right?
It's just a redistribution of the wealth. So instead of taking care of the patient, and sure, we did things that were unnecessary. We kept people in the hospital too long at times, but you got to remember too that technology has changed, and that probably has affected things more than the government ever will. Usually, the government follows; it doesn't lead. Maybe in wartime it leads, but not in peace.
Well, I mean, if you guys think somebody should be in the hospital for another day, then they should be in the hospital for another day, regardless of what the government thinks. That's always my problem. They say you should be between you and your doctor. Well, you guys are getting in between a lot.
Yeah, and case management is now there. That's another branch of the nursing staff. And they look at the patient, and they look at the reasons that they're in the hospital, and they go through their little checklist of what validates a hospital stay and what doesn't. And then they text you right away and say, your patient doesn't meet criteria to be in the hospital. What are your plans to discharge them? So then you either have to figure out what it is that you've left out of your note or your diagnostic list so that they will let the patient stay another day, or you have to go and argue with them and say, well, she doesn't have anybody at home. She can't walk, and she's deaf mute, and she has to change her diapers too. So
can't fight with a computer there, Doc.
You have to. If you don't stand up and fight, the computers will run you over.
Doc, you got about 45 seconds left. We've been talking a lot here. So why don't you give everybody, noisy. If you want this man as your doctor, call the number. What number is that, Doc?
727-384-6411. 727-384-6411. I am your Dr. Bill, and we provide you the best care in the area. Well, I think it's pretty good anyway.
I've never had a problem.
Never had it. You're
never
still alive.
That's right. Say bye, Doc.
Goodbye, Doc.
WGUL and W229DJ Dunedin, powered by Prosperity Group. See them online today at mymoneyissafe.com.